This is an honor. I wrote a book. Kathy said I had all the time in the world, so I hope you guys brought your lunch. We had a lot of adventures together. When you start out before you're in the first grade, we didn't have kindergartens at our school till later. And when we all got into first grade, it was kind of amazing. And we all grew up together like brothers and sisters. Look, still stay in contact, keep up with one another. But there was some times when once in a while we was a little adventuresome. Our little group might have got a little adventuresome from time to time.
I remember you in the church, junior.
Okay. Well, there goes that page. But there's several things come to mind when I sat down and start writing. This was my reminder page, and that just hit the tops of it. But I sat in there and I thought, who could forget Jim's old cars? Faster than crap. And anyways, he always had a 3-dog night tape with CCR all combined, and it blared all the time. I loved that tape because it had good times and bad times with it, but and even in there, me and Russ Cole was with Jimmy, and I get out and I get to school the next day, and they said, "Boy, Jimmy wrecked his car," and I said, "No, he didn't. I was with him." And Jim comes kind of into school, and he said, "Oh crap, you guys got out?" And he said, from Main Street to where Bob Cole's there at Visai Animal Clinic is, he must have been doing about 120. He took out a telephone pole, a stop sign, a whole corner post, and like 17 fence posts. And if he'd been going fast, he might have tore that car plumb up. And I said, "Did you wreck your car?" He goes, you know. He said, "I'm glad you guys got out. You might have got hurt." Now I'm thankful for my wife. I remember these. She asked me if I wanted her to write them big so I could see, and I said, "I got glasses." Well, it doesn't say that. But from grade school, we kicked it kind of into high gear. We done lots of things most people don't get to do before they're 18. And one day we was skipping school, and Jimmy was probably between cars, so that's why he was in Willis's pickup. And so we cut out to Lena, and Willis was gone, so we go to Jimmy's house to hang out a while. Well, we decided we got to be back for English because we can't miss English. We missed a lot, and we got to be back. So we're cutting down the road, and there's this buzzard sitting on the side of the road. And I said, "Huh." And of course, that's back when you could get 6 people in the front of a single cab pickup, you know. And I'm kind of sitting there. I'm second row by the door, and roll the window down, and there's a little pipe up there on the dash, and I get it. I look out, and I throw this pipe, and lo and behold, I hit this buzzard. He just started flying, and he goes, "Yow!" Poof, right into the grill of the pickup. Just blowed it out. Jimmy, and he's mad at me. And he says, what am I going to tell Dad? He said, he's not going to believe the truth. He's going to think we had a wreck. Who's going to believe you hit a buzzard and he flew in there and broke the, because we'd used every excuse on him by then. It's a lot. So. Now I got ahead of myself again. Well, another day when we was out at Jimmy's house, and he says, you guys got to see my bow. He said, I got me a new recurve bow. And me and Russ Cole was with Jimmy again, and he comes out and he's got his arrows. He don't just got practice hip. He's got broadheads on these arrows, real live killing broadheads. And he goes, you ever do this? Now, have you seen that show in Grown Ups? There is a reason you run like that. It looked like it. First I lose it. I thought, I'll just watch it. It goes out of sight. I thought, oh, crap. So then we all split in separate directions because two of us is going to live to tell the story. And it hits, like Lena's car's here, and it hits right there, And I thought, holy moly, that's close. And Lena comes running out the door. I know she kept an eye on what we was doing. And she comes out the door and she says, you boys better not shoot my car. Okay. She goes back in. Jimmy said, bet you can't beat that. Well, Russ takes the challenge. Boom. Well, there we all go running. Dog was even running. Everybody's running because it's probably going to kill somebody this time. We're running out of, percentage is getting up there. And I'm running, I hear thunk. I thought, whew, missed me. And I look back, and it missed the bumper of that car this much. No kidding, for real. And Russ hands me a bow and says, beat that. I said, nope, ain't gonna do it. Well, they call me sissy names, and because we're in church, I can't explain all. They told me bad things. I said, give me that. And so I aim out like this. Not up where we're standing by the car. I aim out a little bit. Shoo! Wind comes up. Here it comes back at us. We all start running again. And I'm running, and I hear bong. Oh. And I turn around, and dead center, you could not have measured it out any better. For dead center of the hood was my arrow. And the door just busts open. Bam! Lena said, I told you, boys! Jimmy's running like this, trying to cover it up. He's laying over the hood. And I've still got the bow. I thought, that's stupid. And I'm handing it to Russ. Russ, well, Lena picks up a switch and starts in on me. And Russ and Jimmy, she wore a good switch out on us. And bless her heart, I love Lena to death. Such a sweet lady. And she turns around and says, I just don't know what I'm going to do with you boys. Well, we was all kind of dragging on. Like she kind of peeved off because of her car. But in my defense, it hit right over the air filter, or the air breather. And every time it rained, it just caught it up there. The water didn't hurt nothing. Jimmy just dumped that off when it rained. But, I'm kind of seeing what I can read here. I'm telling you, this Jimmy told me, he said, you ought to write a book. He said, I can help you get it started. And when I start, there ain't no end to it, hardly. Didn't talk about that one. Well, here's where things really got interesting with Jimmy. Jimmy never was handicapped. Not in my eyes, not in nobody's eyes. And especially his. He done what he wanted to. Well, I was having a booth at the Backwoods show. And Jimmy said, come stay at our house. And I said, all right. I said, I want you to set the booth with me. I got him a shirt and all that. You know, we all had our same shirts. We kind of teamed up. And Jimmy says, I'll be back in a little bit. Well, he goes tootling off, scouting stuff and looking. And he comes back. He said, oh, Lord, I need this. And he said, come look. So we abandoned the booth. Don't matter. We got things to do now. And there's this Argo. And he said, that guy says it'll even float. We can fish out of it, everything. I said, really? These things float. And so, anyways, he said, well, and Vicki reminded me this, Kathy. She said, you're supposed to got new cabinets. But the Argo was so much better. he gets his Argo and he comes out. And he brings Darren right there. And I nicknamed him Bean Dip. We kind of nickname everybody out there, but anyways, you can see his size, and the back end of this Argo ain't real big. And he's there, and Jimmy says, he kept turning around saying, now you got to get down. Get down. We're calling turkeys, you know. Jimmy's serious about this, and he's not being nice to his future son-in-law. We was testing you. And anyways, I call these birds in. And Jimmy, he's in there, and he boom, 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 boom. It's awful. Then he pull one feather. And I says, you missed awful. I said, there wasn't even a bird out there where you did too. He said, I had it right on his head. Okay, he could get a little aggravated if you argued with him. And so we do it again. He shoots out there in the middle of nowhere. I said, your gun's off. So I go set up a target, and I'm watching him go. I said, take your glasses off and shoot that. Boom, hits it. He said, well, he had like, I don't know how many lines in his glasses because he was smart and read all different. He was seeing double vision. He was shooting these turkeys out here. Okay, he's gone, so they can't write him up with tickets. The next round, we call in these 4 gobblers come running in. And Jimmy, boom, boom, boom. There's 3 of them laying out there dying. And this one just standing there. And I said, quit shooting. You're over our limit. And I would tell you what Bean Dip said. This one gobbler is standing there by the decoys. And he goes walking off like, and then he just blasts off. And he said, he won't want anymore, will he? That same day, I don't need this stuff. That same day, he brought fishing poles and stuff because we're gonna give this Argo a test. And we drive up on the pond, and this ain't a little shallow pond; it's pretty deep. And he says, and it's me and him and Bean Dip, and we're casually gonna kind of see if it floats easy. And I'm thinking we'll get on the edge test this slowly. Jim, he said, let's see if it floats. Vroom! I said, did you put the plug in? He goes, these got plugs? I never rode an Argo before. I didn't know. And before you know it, we're in the middle of the pond. And this thing does this. So me and Jimmy, he couldn't swim when he could walk. And I think we're really going to die right here. And I mean, we was trying to counterbalance, but both me and him, you can tell we're not exactly featherweights. And we was really got her rocking, and finally we was just scared and we held on. He goes, all we had to do is hold still. So we go all around the pond, and we come back to the bank. Well, this thing sets up, and the bank's like this, so we can't get out. Jimmy goes, bean dip. Get out there and on the bank and get a hold of the winch and pull us up to something and hook onto it so we can pull ourselves out. Okay, he got legs like this long, and he had on brand new white tennis shoes. And he's on the front of this, and he steps out there like this. Argo slides out. I'm telling you, I've never seen anybody do the splits that far, ever. And he's like, and he can't pull back. He's waited too long. And he goes. And he comes out, and he said, look at my white shoes. The old black muck. And Jimmy's like, oh, yeah, we couldn't quit laughing. Things was a lot of fun when things happened to somebody else, but we got her out. And it's about a couple weeks later, he calls me and he says, hey, let's take Larry. Oh, brother Larry. You remember that? We get in it, Jimmy says, he said, I'm just going to drive right out in it. He did. And we start doing this number. You did that. Larry's like, me and Jimmy's laughing so hard. We both about went plumb down in that Argo. We was laughing because he thought we was going to die. And we knew you couldn't tip it over because we'd already about did that. And Jimmy said, hold still, you are going to tip us over. But, oh my. If I knew them Argos so much fun, I'd have bought one of them first before I got a pickup. I done told that one. He come to the deer season one year, and he comes out and he's got him a crossbow. And I said, all right. I said, just sit up there, kind of this little old bunch of trees and stuff. And this little doe comes out. And she'd got pretty used to us being right around there. And she just walks up to Jimmy. And he took pictures of her, and she spent the morning with him. He said, I was pretty excited about shooting a deer with my crossbow. He said, but she wasn't scared of me. She said, she's kind of here like my friend. He said, after I took her picture and she posed for me, he said, that was no way. He said, I could not shoot little Bambi. And I said, well, that's probably a funner hunt than shooting one. But he really was able to get out and enjoy nature as it was. And we decided to try a little different adventure. We put that on the Washita River to float. Now, that was a little different, I can tell you. And we're going down the river, and Jimmy's trolling. I said, you can't troll and catch that. He caught something. And anyways, this beaver swims out to us. And just swim right up to Jimmy, and he goes, you think I ought to catch him? I said, his teeth's only this long. And I said, he would oblige chewing both our legs off right here, because you're and he'll probably beat us to death with his tail. And he'd swim a circle around us and leave, and he'd come back, and he's tempting me a little bit then, because I thought, this might be fun. Catch us a beaver. And thank goodness that beaver didn't come back after we kind of had our minds up to catch him. I had to go to Kansas to guide deer hunts one year, and Jimmy was coming out. And Vicky said, don't worry, me and Jimmy can go hunting. I need somebody to go with me anyways. So they're in the Argo, and I get home, and there's this crazy story they're talking about. They're sitting together, talking, being like, you know, Jimmy, if he got talking, he didn't care how loud he was talking. He just talking away. And Vicky, she's a moss, so they, you know, Diane and Vicky, anyhow, this deer comes out. Well, they go to shooting at him. And they're both just, you know, and they both blamed it on their glasses. I know Jimmy knows to take them off, but he probably got excited. And Vicky she likes to shoot about 10 rounds before she gets one anyway. And they said this deer would run this way, and then he'd turn around and he'd run back, and he'd run this way and run back. And Jim said, I had to reload. Vicky said, I did too. I mean, they emptied their guns. And pretty soon the deer, he either had a heart attack. Nobody knew who killed him. It's and so I told Jim, I said, I'm pretty sure you probably got him. But one year he shows up, and it's right before turkey season, like maybe the day of first day of turkey season. He had always had an old pump gun, old 870 Remington, but he buys him a new turkey gun. And it's a cannon. And he says, I want to shoot this. So we drive out on a location, and I go set up a target, and he's sitting in a chair, and he goes, boom, and his front end raises up off when he comes down. And he's like, and his glasses like this. And, okay, I had lib a little bit. He said, that wasn't so darn much fun. But one of the memorable times is when he brought the boys out. And Jason, he's out there, and Jimmy gets him a gun. And he never had him shoot guns before. And we're out there off some cliffs, and he said, shoot that. And well, Jason, blam, and he's, oh, he is scope cut. And, you know, you bleed pretty bad. And I'm saying, you're all right. Put some dirt on it. And so we get home, and Jason's saying maybe we need to go take him to the hospital and get him sewed up. Well, my wife, over all the years of adventuring, she knows how to fix you up. We get there, and Vicky said, come here, I'll fix it up for you. So she puts some salt in it, cleans it out with alcohol, slaps her up there, and gives him some them little butterflies. And anyways, Jimmy said, see there? You'd have wasted a whole day going to the hospital. And we're back out going. But then Cody, boop, boop. He's the next one to get it. Blam. He said, take me to the hospital. But that was, he enjoyed bringing you boys out, and I loved having you. They was out there, and I had a bird dog. I always trained my bird dog with a fishing pole and a quail wing. And this dog thought he was number 2 in command right behind me and whatever. And I think it was you whopped that dog on the head because he's after your lure down there fishing, and he bit your fishing pole off. Boom. Learn you by, slap me on the head. But we had more fun. We absolutely did. And Jimmy come out, I think, wasn't long ago. We got to spend the afternoon together. And our days spent, now, me and him could bump heads pretty good. I mean, honestly, he was stubborn, and I'm not. And but I think that's why we got along so good. We had a deep love for each other. But I thought as I was watching you come in, and what he had in his heart, and how we both believe. I had one scripture come to my mind. It says, "Raise a child up in the way you'd have him go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it." And Jimmy was the glue to several things, held several things together. And I looked at the little grandkids, and I said, "They are so marked up like little youngs, this is ridiculous." They never broke the mold. But it's been a privilege and an honor to get to share with you guys. And because most of you was on our adventures. We had to, like say, he made me not be able to tell most of them. But we did have lots of fun, and we enjoyed life. And when it's like that, we had talked about, we'd been to a classmate's funeral. And me and Jimmy talked about how long but who knew we'd be doing this next. But like I say, this is an extreme honor for me. And you boys, every one of you, don't forget where I live. I can still take you out and have some fun. Because most of them guys that know me pretty good won't come over.